call the meeting to order. It's Monday, December 5th, 2016, a little after 9. Let's open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Brooks.
Present.
Table of business is Resolution 2016-047, it's resolution for assistant tax sales certificate from Delaware County to the Muncie Sanitary District.
Julie Baring, 3410 West Fox Ridge. Sorry, I got my date switched last time, or would have been here last meeting. But what this is a tiny, tiny piece right next to where the edge of the bridge is. And FEMA says that we have to have continuous title through there. The surveyors found it. We didn't even know it was there. We would have gotten it the last time. So it's just an oversight.
Things happen, don't they? Well, it sure does look nice down there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they're keeping it mowed, and I moved we adopt resolution 2016-0.
Second.
Motion's been made to approve the resolution in a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Julie.
Thank you.
We have approval of minutes, November 21st, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Presentations to the commissioners. You can. I think this is the flag, is it not?
Yes.
I'll read this proclamation. To all to whom these presents may come greetings, whereas Sunday, December 11th, 2016 marks the 200th anniversary of the day President James Madison signed the act admitting Indiana as the 19th state of the Union. And whereas on the occasion of Indiana's 200th birthday, we honor the culmination of bicentennial year in Indiana, a year of celebrating history, nature, and community, and igniting the future for generations to follow. And whereas we take this opportunity today to recognize the many community leaders and volunteers who played vital roles in creating the legacies of this year that we will long treasure and the stories that will be told for years to come. And whereas 1 year ago we celebrated the promise of the bicentennial year for residents and visitors, today we pause to remember the Hoosier values and pride we saw on display and make promises to continue in the spirit of the bicentennial and create a brighter future for our children. Now therefore, I, Shannon Henry, President of the County Commissioners, Delaware County, do hereby proclaim December 11th, 2016 as Indiana Statehood Day and Bicentennial, and invite all citizens to duly note this occasion. In testimony whereof I hereto set my hand and cause to be affixed the official seal of office proclaimed at City of Muncie, Delaware County, Indiana, this 5th day, December 2016, for the 200th anniversary of Indiana statehood and the 240th year of the independence of the United States of America.
Well done. Thank you. And Charlie's here, we'll give it to him to... I'm sorry?
Do we need to do this in form of motion, John?
Yes. I make a motion we accept the proclamation.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. And we do have the flag that Charlie will take care of.
Take the old one down.
Yeah. Okay, the Delaware County farm ground bids.
I have been handed by the auditor 3 different envelopes. So I will proceed to open them. First one is Cole Stevens Farm, Inc., Jonesboro Road in Gaston. His bid is for $196.15, $196.15 per acre. Okay. Next one is John and Jerry Schroyer. The amount is $226 per acre. Third one is Daniel Hyatt Farms. $165 per acre plus property taxes of $36 plus an acre. Those are the three bids.
Were they supposed to take note of the property tax, or is that just something they just added?
That's just something they added on this one.
Okay.
Because it's in the,
It's in the contract, isn't it?
yeah.
Right, yes.
So 36.
It's a pleasure.
Looks like John Schroyer looks like you went.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think that's the family that had it before.
Make a motion, we accept John and Jerry Schwartz.
Second that.
All right, motion's been made and a second to accept Schroeder Brothers. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Mr. Bookout?
Good morning, Commissioners. Brad Bookout with Delaware County Economic Development Alliance, here to give you the annual update of the Delaware County Economic Development Organization, as well as the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission. I appreciate your time this morning. Get all set up here. So, when you first hired Augusta Consulting to do the work on behalf of the Redevelopment Commission and the Economic Development, we appreciated that very much, of course, but one of the directives that you gave us was transparency, and was to know what we're doing and to know what projects we're doing and know where the county's investment lies. And so we did do a end of the year last year, and this is your annual end of the year now. We have included, since we've only been working on this for 18 months, we have included the culmination of all projects of 18 months. So what you're about to see is a lot. This presentation will probably take 20 minutes, as I've briefed you on. And I'm happy to meet with any one of you, of course, to have concerns, questions, and I know on an ongoing basis we have projects that we're working on that you're all aware of. In the last 18 months, you guys really brought your A game to economic development. I'm happy to report that what you're about to see, in my professional opinion, is more activity than we're seeing in the surrounding counties. It's more activity than we're seeing in maybe a 2-hour drive. So congratulations on that. One of the other directives that you gave to us was local businesses come first. For a long time, we weren't aware of economic development incentives that were being offered to companies outside of the county. We have taken strategic steps to meet with those who already call Delaware County home and continue to call Delaware County home and help them grow their businesses. So we'll get right into it. This is the staff that we have that work on projects, of course myself, and then you all know Bill Walters, of course, who's our senior project manager. Bill has done a fantastic job. He's been a great asset. All of the businesses and companies that we work with seem to really like Bill. Bruce Baldwin, well-known name that's been around for a long time. He's our R&E call manager, so everybody likes Bruce. So Bruce's biggest problem when he makes phone calls is that he can't get off the phone with the people he calls because they haven't talked to him in so long that when he calls, it's like a reunion call for him. So Bruce has been very, very active for us. So scope of work since June 1st, 2015, we've placed over 250 calls to local companies. We've worked on over 70 projects in the last 18 months. Our focus has been on small towns and locally owned companies. 8 tax abatements. Ron's here from the County Council, so thank you, Ron, for helping with a few of these. Some of the others were approved in the surrounding small towns. But we've worked on 8 different tax abatements with Merit Tool, Artisan Tool, Midwest Metal 2, Littler Diecast 3, and then Bridgestone Bandag 1. Total added new buildings and equipment from these tax abatements is $7,711,010. Total retainage of jobs is 66, and jobs pledged to be created are 64. So that's where our tax abatements lie. Delaware Glass and Mirror. This was a big project. This took a lot of time, and I thank you three commissioners for your assistance on making this happen. We were in negotiations for over a year on this project. As you know, the county purchased the former Tucson building on West Bethel Avenue to allow Mersix Corporation to expand into Park 1. There was a short time when working through the Chamber of Commerce where this building was termed the Turkish Business Center. It was an industrial incubator. It went through various stages of different things that some worked out, some didn't. Nonetheless, D.D. Danner is leasing the front portion of the building, but Delaware Glass was interested in purchasing the entire building. We closed on the purchase of this building in October of this year. Delaware Glass has pledged to invest $450,000 in remodel and equipment in the building. Promised to create 20 new jobs, which these are union scale glass glazer jobs. These are good jobs. These are about $22 an hour jobs. Plus they're retaining their existing 30 employees in Delaware County. We were worried that Delaware Glass, being most of their business towards Indianapolis and Fort Wayne, that we could lose them from our community. They also assumed the D.D. Danner lease, which is a good thing. Buildings will be formally back on the tax rolls next year. This was a DCRC assisted project using TIF funds for the acquisition of the property originally and of the renovation that happened of the building. Talk about Mersix Corporation. We helped Mersix Corporation acquire Dakota Engineering last year. Dakota Engineering was a company in Indianapolis. Mersix wanted to bring them under their label and move them to Park 1. We ended up working with the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission to assist in funding the move of the machinery from Indianapolis to Park 1. Mersix invested $1.9 million in the new machinery and subsequently incorporated 22 new jobs into Park 1 at their location. Mersix Corporation is a local success story. Todd Murray is a great local guy. He invests a lot in the community. He keeps food on the table for a lot of families in our community. He's currently invested over $15 million in total new investment in the building in Park 1 and has today over 300 employees. He was 89 employees when he left West Bethel Avenue. This was, again, was a DCRC assisted project in assisting funding the move to Park 1. Getting properties back on the tax rolls. This is one of your prerogatives that you gave us direction to do, was taking blighted sites and actually getting them back into productive use. Here are 3 of them right here that we've completed in small towns in Delaware County. Commissioner Henry, thank you for bringing Arnold's Lawn Care to our attention. Arnold's Lawn Care wanted to expand in Albany, Indiana. We subsequently worked with Janet, thank you Janet, for her help on, I think almost, well, a good 3 or 4 of these throughout the year we've worked on. We ended up getting a property, almost an entire city block in Albany. The commissioners gave the tax certificate to the ECI Regional Planning District. We wrote a request for proposals for developers. Arnold's Lawn Care responded to that proposal. They subsequently have invested $250,000 now in the property. The property's back on the tax rolls, and they've created 2 jobs. So jobs aren't really the big win here. It's getting the property back on the tax rolls and cleaning up blight that is the win. We worked with Real America in Daleville. This was a little bit more of a controversial project for the town of Daleville, but they had the former Lions Club, which was not on the tax rolls. We issued a request for proposals for developers. Real America responded, and they brought a tax credit project. They're investing $8.4 million in their new apartment complex. They have broke ground on that, supposed to create 4 new jobs in Daleville. Merritt Tool, the building you see there on the far right, in the bottom right-hand corner, that's the former Eaton Community Center. It's not much of a building, but it hadn't been used in years. We did a request for proposals for developers. Merritt Tool responded. They've now turned that building into their shipping and receiving building. It's back on their shipping and receiving building. It's back on the tax rolls in Eaton. Moving on, some more blight conversion projects. Left-hand side, downtown Daleville. If you know, all of those buildings are gone now. We worked cooperatively with the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, acquired properties, tore them down, released a request for proposals. Envoy Inc., which is a prominent developer of downtown Fishers, Carmel. They're doing a project now in Kokomo. Also did some work at Fort Benjamin Harrison on some redevelopment. They gave a proposal to invest $4.5 million in the downtown. We also applied to the Office of Community and Rural Affairs with the state of Indiana, secured $50,000 to do new streetscape in the downtown. So that project should be happening in 2017. We're excited about that project. So thank you to Commissioner King. He's been instrumental on leading the way with that project. Gaston Grain Elevator, we worked cooperatively with Tanya Hyatt, who's on the Gaston Town Board. Gaston Grain Elevator is like the #1 blighted property in Gaston. It's a hazard for kids, play in it. You know, people run around it, scavenging things. It's just in deplorable shape. It's been off the tax rolls for a long time. I worked with the commissioners, thank you. We've been able to give the tax deed for that property to the town of Gaston, and then Gaston we also worked with them to join the edit plan. So they got some edit funds for the first time this year. So you're going to tear that grain elevator down with those edit funds. So picture right below it, that's a picture of what it's supposed to look like when it's torn down next summer. So we think it looks better. Upper right-hand corner, this is a work in progress right now. This is what's formerly used to be the Lonnie Sports Bar, or maybe known now as the Crown Sports Bar, tax delinquent property. You, the commissioners, have assigned the tax certificate for this property to the town of Daleville. We're in the 120-day redemption period right now. As soon as that is complete, we will be issuing a request for developers for that corner. We hope to see something like the little strip mall there in the bottom. We have had a local bank reach out to us who has some interest in that corner. We also think it'd be a nice corner for maybe a Walgreens or a CVS there in Daleville. Park 1 Rail Spur Loading Dock. This is one of those projects that's been up and down and all around. We're working with Bravini right now on some land acquisition for a new loading dock for the rail spur. This was one of the projects we were tasked by Sherry with. And Sherry, we've visited with 3 companies in the county who all have interest in shipping by the rail, but we have to have a loading dock for them to get their product on the rail. So we actually wrote a grant to the EDA, and EDA subsequently agreed to fund $400,000 for the project. We were then informed by Bravini, once they decided to close up their building, that they would not be willing to sell the land. They would require us to use eminent domain to get the land. That is a threshold barrier to the grant, and we lost our EDA grant essentially for that project. So I know you did allocate funds in the edit plan to do a loading dock. Those 3 companies in the county want to ship by that rail, and we want to get that rail in use soon. So we're working on that. Growing Delaware County. This is going to talk a little bit about local companies or local organizations who are doing things and projects we've worked with them on so far this year. First project is a confidential project. I thought I was going to be able to announce this today, but they chose not to have their name disclosed today. So confidential project XYZ. We're converting an existing 34,000 square foot empty building in Delaware County into a regional warehouse distribution center. The company's investing approximately $350,000 in the building and creating 3 new jobs. Building is on the tax rolls, but we need to get somebody in it who's using it, and that's what this company's doing. T-Max. A lot of people don't know much about T-Max, but we've stumbled onto T-Max. They're a great company in Delaware County, currently operating on South Walnut Street in the county. We've worked with them to purchase former Overland bus terminal off of Fusen Road. They're investing $410,000 in that building, creating 2 new jobs. Their biggest obstacle was there's a telephone pole right in the middle of the parking lot, and it had been hit countless times. They asked if the county could assist with getting that telephone pole down and getting the service buried under their parking lot, and so that total cost is about $40,000 to do that. We worked with the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission to help fund that. They agreed to invest their $410,000 if the County Redevelopment Commission could put about $40,000 in that telephone pole. So it's made that property a more distinguished property, and they'll continue to grow there. They're a good company. Youth Opportunity Center, as you know, was brought to you this year. They wanted to purchase the antique car lot that's kind of in the southeast corner of their campus. That property was going to auction. We were worried that maybe some sort of a commercial slumlord or somebody who wouldn't take as good care of the property would acquire it in auction. You, of course, the commissioners, worked with Youth Opportunity Center to help them with $75,000 to purchase that building to square off their campus. They've promised to invest $2 million and create 20 new jobs at the Youth Opportunity Center. This is an announcement. Upper left-hand corner, Roger Reichert of the I'll Save You Money Furniture has purchased the former Daleville Flea Market location. He's in the process of gutting that building on the interior and plans to turn that into a regional furniture destination. They create what they call vignettes, where they have room settings throughout there. They'll sell indoor and outdoor furniture. They're investing a lot of money to clean that property up. If you know Roger and you know the I'll Save You Money, he's done a lot of work in Richmond in the Depot District and cleaned that up and made a furniture store there, which is now a regional destination. He's trying to do the same on I-69. He wants to be an alternative to the IKEA that's going in Hamilton County to try to get people up from Hamilton County to buy furniture there, maybe a little bit nicer stuff than what IKEA would sell, and also get people from the Fort Wayne area to come south. So he's making a nice investment in Deleville. We helped him just with a sign permit is all that we helped with, so it's a good project. Exide Battery. Exide's doing a lot of stuff, and they've cleaned up their operation a little bit. We're happy with Exide. I'm actually having another meeting with them Wednesday this week. Exide is interested in acquiring the former CR3 tire business that burned several years ago on the east side of their property. That property, of course, is tax delinquent, as you know. We've sent certified mail to the owner, who's in California, noticing her that we plan to cut the locks of the gate and do a phase 1 and 2 environmental assessment on the site. Once the results of that phase 1 and 2 are back, we'll have those presented to Exide. Exide would like to maybe pave that area, park some semi-truck trailers there, park some equipment there temporarily, and use that location. Ultimately, we just want to get that site back on the tax rolls and get it in productive use. The Tony Winery, we helped them. We didn't do a lot with this project, but we did speak on their behalf at a zoning hearing of the Board of Zoning Appeals, enabled them to invest $275,000 to expand their wine tasting room and create 9 part-time jobs. So, good local tourist destination. Pipeline projects, these are speculative. We can't guarantee that any of these will happen, but these are projects we are working on today. We have 2 auto parts suppliers considering building 50,000 square foot headquarters. Packaging company looking to build a 50,000 square foot warehouse. We have 5 companies looking to build new commercial businesses near I-69. Whether you like this trend or not, it's real. We have to accept it. A lot of companies are looking to go towards I-69, proximity to Hamilton Town Center, and the 4-lane highway is a big deal in our county. All projects, if all of those were to come to fruition, which they of course will not, but it would be $23.5 million in new capital investment, 395 jobs. Town edit projects. This was a big thing for you, the commissioners, in this year. We helped out all of the towns. We started out, you asked me to request from each of the towns their wish lists. which we did. We received all that information back. We compiled that, shared that with you, of course, had meetings with various town officials on what they wanted to do. In some of them, the towns, we encouraged them to do more. In some of the towns, we encouraged them to scale some things back. The requests were all over the place. But nonetheless, I accompanied you to all of the town board meetings where you presented checks from the EDIT plan of over 1.7 million distributed to the towns. So we're excited about that. I couldn't get every town's picture of their sign on there, so I got Yorktown and Selma's on there. But yeah, that was a good thing. The towns are very appreciative of your help and assistance. Total jobs and investment in process to date. Total new jobs, 148. Retained jobs, 208. Building property investment. This figure is astonishing to me, and this really tells me that the economy is back and that businesses are investing. They're investing more money. They're not hiring as many people as they are investing. $23,018,540 in the last 18 months in new investment in the county. New equipment and machinery, $7,852,470. Grant projects in 2016. One of the things that we work on with you is grant projects. Sherry, you brought to our attention just literally 3 weeks ago the opportunity to apply to the Indiana Office of Energy Development for $43,500. We've completed that application, working in cooperation with Ball State University. They've been a great help on this. We're asking for the money for solar installations at the Boys and Girls Club of Muncie, the Muncie Mission, A Better Way, and also Heartland Hall. The county, you've pledged $14,500 in match money for that grant. It is pending at this time. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, we're working on right now an application for $600,000 for EPA brownfield assessment money, working in cooperation with SME Corporation, who has helped us in the past, and also the ECI Regional Planning District. The grant will provide funds for brownfield assessments, and there's no local match for this. We've been very successful with this grant in the past. We've secured $1.2 million total for the regional area, $600,000 exclusive for Delaware County. That money has been exhausted and helped lots of projects to move forward because we've been able to pay for assessments on these projects. This is then the EDA grant, the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration. This was the $400,000 grant that we wrote for the rail spur, which has since, we have sent them a letter notifying them that we are no longer eligible due to use of eminent domain on the project. Cleanup work. It's always important when you have successes to also identify your weaknesses. So we have done that. Cleanup work, we're still working with Bravini on the payback. They did pay back last year $375,000. They were due to Delaware County. They're due another $800,000 right after the first of the year, which will go into the Park 1 TIF district. We'll have to have that money on reserve, in my opinion, to ensure that the bond payment is made on the project out there. So we'll hold that in anticipation to make sure that they continue to pay their taxes on their property, and if they don't, we have a little bit of a backup source to pay on the bond. Jardin payback, as you're aware, Jardin left Delaware, Indiana, and they are scheduled for an anticipated $84,000 clawback, payback to the county, half in 2017, half in 2018. So, shortcomings. Our shortcomings on these projects, as you know, and is evident because most people don't know about these projects, are our public relations, our press releases, and our social media. Sherry brought this to our attention just not too long ago, and we've been meeting with some companies to try to get some proposals, to do some work to make these projects more prominent and have a better presence of what work that we do. And so we hope to have more coming before you on that in the future. Ribbon cuttings, we're not very good with ribbon cuttings. We should have a lot of ribbon cuttings with these projects. There's a lot of cool things on here. We only had one last year, and so we want to do more ribbon cuttings. Chamber of Commerce, in my opinion, has ribbon cuttings mastered. They do a lot of ribbon cuttings with businesses, so we'd like to partner more on them. They bring the ribbon, they bring the giant scissors, all the stuff. They blitz it out to all of their membership and get a crowd at those events. So we'll try to work cooperatively with those folks. We would also like to have more cooperation with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, the ECI Regional Partnership, which is the regional economic marketing group that takes marketing trips. We don't have a lot of communication with those folks. And then we'd also like to work more with the Muncie Delaware County Economic Development Alliance on projects. What we've identified is we need to build some trust with those organizations, and we need to work to partner more on projects with those organizations. We think we can bring value to their organization, and we think that they can maybe bring a little bit of value to us. Delaware County Redevelopment Commission highlights for 2016. This project's going a little slower than I'd like, but this is the Morrison Road TIF area sidewalk project. The design phase, it took a long time to get the design done, but it is completed now. Commonwealth Engineering did do the design. We are in right-of-way acquisition phase at this time. We have to do 2 appraisals on all the properties that we are acquiring, and those have been completed, and offers are being made to those folks now for the sidewalk right-of-ways. That is a $6 million project in the Morrison Road area. This is just phase 1. Downtown Daleville, the Town Hall Park. This is a cool project. If you haven't been out there and seen what's going on next to the Daleville Town Hall, this is an attraction project. This is a quality of life project for the residents of Daleville, someplace for kids to go, families to go. Project is under construction. JBM Corporation is the contractor. This is the largest splash pad in East Central Indiana, is under construction. It's a $4.2 million project. There's a walking trail, 2 playground park areas, an outdoor pavilion, an area for a future farmers market. This is going to be a nice project. My guesstimation, James, maybe you correct me on this, but I'm guessing it at 50% complete right now. Yeah, I think all the infrastructure's in place. So we want to have a nice ribbon cutting ceremony, grand opening of this next summer. Industria Center roads. We got some really cool photography from E&B Paving from their drone of these roads. And this was the complete reconstruction and widening of the roads in the Industria Center. This includes Mount Pleasant Boulevard, Delaware and Hamilton Drives, and then Hoyt Avenue. It's a $2.3 million project. Did come in under bid, which we were really happy about, and we're actually able to use some of the extra money at this time to do a few of the other little pieces of the project that we weren't able to do originally. I was hoping I had a cursor where I could point at some things, but in the lower right-hand corner, that's ERCO Eagle Battery at the corner of Hoyt Avenue and Mount Pleasant Boulevard. If you look right across the street from where see where their trucks pull in there, you can see kind of a rough area. Their trucks are tearing up the ditch area, and so we're working currently to extend the road out another 8 feet and give them a little bit more of a berm to back their trucks in, which will help keep the road from breaking down. We've also been working cooperatively with Exide and identified, there's about 50 trucks a day that go between ERCO and Exide. A lot of the trucks pull off the side of the road and tear up the edge of the road. That was part of our problem out there. So we're working cooperatively with Bob Jesse and Angie at the Highway Garage. We're working on a guardrail from ERCO all the way to Hamilton Drive, which will keep those trucks
on the south side of the road.
On the north side
North
of Mount Pleasant. That's where the most damage has been done. So the County Redevelopment Commission has approved the additional leftover bond funding to fund that guardrail, and we were hoping that would get done before year's end. E&B Paving is the contractor on that. Additional paving projects. Thanks to Bob Jesse for his leadership, and Angie Moyer also. We did a lot of extra paving with TIF money in 2016. County Road 750 West from 650 South to Greenway Drive. Nebo Road from State Road 332 to 28. That's the big one, $280,000 to repave that stretch. Bethel Avenue from Morrison to 600. Morrison from Bethel to 300 West. County Road 700 North from State Road 28 to 200 East. So great to supplement the county's paving budget with TIF dollars. So it was an initiative James King brought to me early on that we need to find all the paving money we can. So Redevelopment Commission was happy to help out with that. There's our one ribbon cutting we did in 2016. So that was a good day. We cut the ribbon on the new roads in the Industria Center. It was a beautiful day, and we're happy that took place. So this is what we need to do more of right here. We need to get this more of this kind of stuff advertised. Special thanks to the following organizations to make all this stuff possible. I'm on the phone or emailing back and forth with Angie or Bob or the commissioners or redevelopment or president of the council often, almost daily. Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, the County Highway Garage, Delaware County Planning Commission, and the Board of Zoning Appeals. ECI Regional Planning District, which has been a great partner organization, Town of Albany, Daleville, Eaton, Gaston, Selma, Yorktown, and then the staff that I work with every day at Augusta. So thank you all for that. That concludes my presentation.
Give you a
So,
round of
thank you.
applause.
We want to continue to work with the county. We've enjoyed our time working with the county. We want to continue working with the county. We'll be bringing before you our contract for the next 2 years to your next meeting in 2 weeks. Patty, this is your notice to have us on the agenda. So I'll be meeting with each one of the commissioners individually to talk about different things we'd like to include on there. We appreciate your leadership. We appreciate what you're doing. We're here to give the kudos to you because without you, none of this would have been possible. You initiated all of these projects. I would be at home sitting in my lazy boy chair if it wasn't for you allowing me to go forth to do this. So thank you for that.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate all your hard work, Brad.
Thanks.
Relay that to your staff.
Will do, will do. Staff is in continuing education training
Well,
today.
good,
So.
good.
Okay, we have contracts or agreements for approval in Department of Transportation County Bridge Inspection Contract Supplement Number 1. Angie?
Good morning. I'm not as exciting as Brad, I'm sorry, but he had a lot of exciting stuff to share. I've enjoyed working with him. This supplemental contract, if you recall back in October, you entered into a supplemental with United Consulting. It was an overall reduction in the contract. So when I submitted that to INDOT, they produced this contract. It's a coordination contract that shows a reduction, and this will also allow for them to issue a purchase order for phase 2 of the bridge inspections, which will begin next year.
Just kind of tweaking what we already signed.
Correct.
I'll move we adopt the supplement 1.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt Supplement 1 and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes,
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Angie.
We thank you for all your extra work. Thank you, Brad, too.
Okay, we'll move on down to department heads and elected officials.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jason Rogers, Emergency Management Director. I have the EMS write-offs for the month of November. I have write-offs in the amount of $316,576.80.
I'll make a motion, we accept the write-offs.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve $316,576.80. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
I'm pleased, that, which I know that sounds like a lot of money, and it is, but I'm also pleased to tell you that payments for the month of November were over $240,000. So we're continuing to be very successable.
Was that up a little bit, or
Yeah, that's
November?
It is up from last November. We had been averaging about, and I'm going to shoot from the hip, probably 150 to 180,000 a month in being able to recoup those monies. We've also had to make some major expenditures, obviously, with the help of the council and the help of the commissioners. We're having to institute a new drug handling program, which we've spent some money on a vending machine, if you will, that's going to track and do all that sort of thing. So there's the price of healthcare continues to rise, but we're being successful in doing the things that we're doing in kind of maintaining the professional level of care and the standards that we're trying to accomplish. So thank you for your assistance and your continued support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners. Rick Spangler, Director of Human Resources. I'm here today to announce the 2017 health plan for Delaware County. As everyone knows, both the County Council and the Board of Commissioners have struggled to fund health insurance for the past several years. At times, they've depleted rainy day funds. At times, they've used economic development income money to maintain current benefits. Unlike the past, this year we've decided to live within the constraints of the 2017 budget. So with that as our guide, the following changes will be made to this year's health plan. Delaware County government will no longer be able to fund insurance for our over age 65 retirees. We're going to offer a plan for those individuals, but all premiums for that plan will be the responsibility of the insured. We will be sending out letters and having meetings for the affected people to explain the timetable and options they have. Pre-age 65 retirees will still be offered the same coverage as active employees and at the same percentage of premium they now pay. Active employees will no longer have the option of the PPO plan. We will now only offer the high deductible health plan paired with a health savings account. The new rates, along with a summary of benefits and coverage, will be available later this week, and open enrollment will begin Monday, December 12th. Human Resources will be sending out emails as soon as we have more information on that plan. I want to step back to the over 65s for just a second, and I want to assure them that your coverage will not end December 31st. We will be transitioning through this plan, and the end date will be January 31st. You will not be affected by the December 7 enrollment deadline, as you are currently enrolled in insurance, and we will be transitioning just to another plan. We will have meetings in early January to explain your options and help you pick your needed plan. I know these changes seem drastic, and quite frankly, I cannot guarantee they will completely solve our problem. But your County Council and Board of Commissioners will work diligently to supply our past and present employees with the best benefits the county could afford.
Thank you, Rick. It is not my desire to make these changes to the employee insurance plan. However, we only have the money that the council's providing us, and therefore these changes have to be made. So we're going to continue moving forward. I think we've all talked to Rick for a long time about this. We're doing everything we can to try to make these changes without hurting too many people. So, does anyone else have anything to say on that?
Just about said it.
Yeah, not much else. But, we need a motion on this. John?
You're making these changes to the health, you probably ought to vote on it. I mean, this is where the changes are going to happen to the plan. That's been discussed. You've had meetings about it. It's now the time to take the official action to vote on that.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion on the changes to our health plan.
Second.
We have a motion and a second in regard to the changes to our health plan that none of us really want to do, but we have to. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Is there any other department heads or elected officials? We have the payment of claims, $1,647,000, $647,230.41.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Questions, comments from anyone else?
For the record, and I probably should have brought this up, I received, or the commissioners received, a petition from people in the Rorton Regional Wastewater District. This is an objection to the rate, more than 5% rate increase that they received notice of sometime. The letter isn't dated when they got a rate increase. And another statute, IC 13-26-11-15, if they have 50 of the people that reside in the district sign a petition, then they have to file a petition with the commissioners, and then the commissioners send that on to the regional wastewater district to have a public hearing. I've looked at the petition that was handed to me. There are, by my count, 74 total, so that satisfies the 50. I've looked at the addresses. I believe that all of the addresses are within the district. So therefore, it would be my recommendation that we, commissioners send a letter to the Regional Wastewater Authority insisting that they have conduct a public hearing. I think the statute says within 10 days, but no later than 20 days.
I'll make a
Yes.
motion, we have John send the letter.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second for Mr. Brook to forward a letter to Regional Wastewater District requesting them to have a public hearing. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
I will do that. I have to send it, according to the statute, even though it's in the same building, I gotta send it certified mail.
That's good number.
Don't ask me. I gotta send it certified mail and go one floor.
John, some of us have been asking, since the regional wastewater was established years ago, it takes it out of the commissioner's hands. But as the commissioners, could we at least recommend maybe an audit of said board and maybe even the Muncie Sanitary Board? We'd like to look at the figures that everybody's passing around. Would we be out of?
Well, I don't think you'd be out, I don't know that you'd get much response from them
Well,
because
I
they've not been
mean,
very responsive in
it's
the past.
public record, but if we were to hire a firm to go in and say, we just would like to look, and
I asked them for paperwork back, I believe, last August, and I still haven't received it from the Delaware County Regional Wastewater.
I've had my own troubles on behalf of the town of Daleville trying to get home records out of Daleville, but we can certainly ask. There's nothing wrong with asking and see if they would, well, I know that they don't have a budget, they don't operate from a budget.
there's a lot of.
So do you know if their books are their books ever audited? Do we know?
I believe that the State Board of Accounts would audit them. I mean, they are a public entity.
But we know State Board of Accounts, their staffs were cut, and they're just now getting back on board and doing some audits that they.
Well, let's
they
take a
need to
peek
do.
because they're a public entity, but I can get an answer to that question because they don't take tax money, but they take rate money. But they were set up as a public entity, so I have to look into that, by the State Board of Accounts.
And is it my understanding, is it just Wharton folks that are all of their customers or regional waste getting the letter?
I think it's everyone that is serviced through where the waste goes to the Muncie Sanitary
I
District.
mean, that Deleville, are they treat their.
Delaware goes to Chester.
Chesterfield.
Okay. So Yorktown, Liberty,
I wouldn't mind having an independent audit so we
but
could see where that money's going to.
Yeah.
what I'm saying, Liberty is not, that's true. But the Muncie Sanitary, are they charging everybody the same rate for this increase? That's what I want to know.
Ron?
My name's Ron Quakenbush. I'm a former commissioner and member of the council. I live in Yorktown. I can't remember the name of the state agency that formed that regional. Can you help me there, John? It's
IDEM.
IDEM, okay. From what experience I've had, I think it would behoove you to write IDEM, have your lawyer write IDEM and ask for that audit. I think you'll get some cooperation with IDEM. We did back in, hell, they always kid me about this, back in the 80s, but when this thing was a fledgling thing and we built the Daleville sewer while I was in office, and that sewage went to Chesterfield and into Anderson, but now it goes to Chesterfield. But I think you should appeal to IDEM for some assistance because this is a tragedy that's happened to those folks out there, in the Rorton area. And possibly there's some grants or something that could help them out, but I think you'll have to do everything through IDEM. That's the answer that I have.
Thank you.
The Regional Wastewater District is audited by the State Board of Accounts. Their last audit was ending December 31st, 2011, and issued in 2012. So they haven't had one since.
Could you do some checking on that?
Sure,
We could
absolutely.
have an independent audit, and we'll go from there. Is there anybody else